Hi, I'm Dan Reid. I'm very fortunate enough today to be here with my good friends Bonnuit to talk a little bit about genesis of the band, the new EP, and what lies ahead. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the band.
Hi, I'm Vinny.
What do you play, Vinny?
I play bass.
I'm Nevada, and I'm the drummer.
I'm DRUE, and I vocals and guitar.
Noise.
Yeah.
Beautiful noise.
Awesome. So Bonnuit, can you talk a little bit about how the band all started, kind of not too long ago it seems like, although time's a bit of a blur these days, but how did the band kind of come together initially?
These two.
Yeah. So Vinny and I were writing. Both of us realized that we had very similar tastes in music, and we decided to try to write some music together. And it was sort of off and on. And then August of 2020, we got together and started really cracking down on some writing, and decided that we needed to find a drummer. And we tried a few different people. The sound wasn't right, or like their schedules weren't right. And then we had Nevada fill in for drums for 2 sessions.
We booked one before I was planning to go to France. So we were planning to go to France for a month. So let's just one time before just trying with a drummer, and how convenient to have one at home that was available. So purpose if you wanted to come just to do one and see how it is, just for us to hear music with drums. Then we came, and at the end we're like, oh wow, this was good. And
I was a little apprehensive though after the first practice. I thought you guys should find somebody outside
That's
of our
right.
bubble. But then we did it a second time, like 5 days later before we went to France, and
we're like,
I was
so
like,
good.
Okay, we had something.
Well, the chemistry was there.
It was working, right?
We had a good chemistry with DRUE. It was when it feels very easy to make music with somebody. It was you don't try to prove anything or whatever. And it felt the same when Nevada came around. It was just feels natural. It didn't feel really.
You guys are sweet.
And how did some of the initial songwriting processes kind of take shape for you guys? How did the origins of the song start to develop?
So Vinny's a very natural songwriter, and she brings the riffs in. She brings the bass riffs in, and then I've always grown up being an improv songwriter, spur of the moment. To the detriment of this band, sometimes I will come up with a riff and I'll forget it just like that. And that's how the initial songwriting started. Is Vinny would bring in a riff, I would play, my noise over top of it, and then and that's how we build the songs. And then once we got Nevada in, Nevada's fantastic at constructing a song. So Vinny and I will create the noises and the melodies and the whatnot, and then Nevada will be like, we need to cut. He's great at cutting the fat off of a song. So he'll be like, let's do this 4 times. We'll crack it into this for 3 times, and we'll go over to this for 4 times. And that was So the 3 of us together, we all bring in our own parts of creating the noise that has become fun.
It's really a whole, everybody bring the thing.
We try many things, but we were able to refine it, and we, kind of work towards what's best for the song. So.
And do you approach songwriting differently for what you're planning to do live versus recording, or does it all kind of come together as one?
Oh, I'd say we practice. Yeah, I'd say we practice like it's live.
Yeah, we do.
There's sweaty practices.
That's right.
I can't remember what.
It's like a show every practice.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So I've always had a theory that and this is more when I was, drinking a lot more. But you would, if you're going to drink at a show, you should drink at practice so that your body, it has the muscle memory to do this. Well, I want to practice. I want to practice like I'm playing a show, so that if I'm throwing my guitar around at the show, I need to know that I can do that at the practice. So I throw my guitar around.
And we have a small jam space.
Yes. So I get everybody else is pushed into a corner, and I'm
we all in a corner because
But yeah. So we practice like it's like we're playing a show.
An elephant in a telephone booth.
Yes.
Yes, basically. That's right. That's a good image.
And then I guess your the plans for shows got pretty interrupted, as did everyone's over the last year. How excited were you guys to finally be able to perform in front of an audience very recently, a couple weeks ago, which I was very lucky enough to be attending. Was it a kind of a cathartic moment for you guys after spending so much time kind of getting close to doing shows and then finally being able to do it?
Well, for us, like when we started to play together as a band, it was already in the middle of the pandemic, so we knew shows will not happen quite right now, and it was actually perfect because it allowed us to make the music, like writing and record and really practice for the day. Things will get better and we could play show again. So it was actually time-wise for us, it was perfect, I think.
Well, I think we established some clear goals right away. I mean, the idea of playing a show, we wanted to be prepared as soon as we had the green light go.
To be there.
But it was also, we knew we wanted to record, which we did, quite early for a new band. We worked with Colin Stewart at the Hive to do our EP, and that was, 5 months after we had been together? I don't know.
It was November, it was 3 months.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a very quick process, and then, that had prepared us really for anything as soon as we could hit the stage, right? Yeah. So, and DRUE was obviously on, trying to get us a gig because, why wouldn't we?
Then the minute that I saw the restrictions, starting to
the email was sent.
The email was sent, and show booked, and I wanted us to be one of the first bands out of the gate after the most recent lockdown. And good. We were.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was great.
Cool.
Yeah, and so you've just wrapped up that EP that you were just talking about. Have you had a chance to play a lot of those songs live yet, or what are your plans for debuting those?
All the songs. It's 5 songs on the EP. We've played all 5 of them on live now. As a band not in a pandemic, you're able to play shows and bounce them off the audience, and you can tell what songs work and what songs don't work. So it's really nerve-wracking to play these songs for the first time, and you're playing a whole set of songs that nobody's heard, but you've been playing for a whole year, and so it felt like a really nice relief to like get them out there, and it was just really nice to see that they at least stuck, somewhat to the to where we wanted them to go. So,
were there any surprises for you about having the audience reaction in front of you, like how they responded to some of those songs?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think we have a song called. We have a song called Holy, which is it's basically just a repeated riff over and over again, and it gets a little bit louder and more aggressive, and the whole idea was the idea of being on a boat and surviving a storm. And I thought that was more of an art piece song all along, and to hear that it resonated with the audience, because after we finished it, there was an act, like the energy of the room was there, right there with me.
Roar of the crowd.
Well, and just like totally, and just like I feel like people kind of grasp the idea of like surviving a storm when we finished that song, and that was
We all
that was
kinda did.
yeah, and that was
Pandemic kind of
yeah,
ended, and we
pandemic,
got
yeah,
together.
Yeah.
That's surviving the storm.
Yeah, so I feel like that was the one for me that I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna work.
People were very accepting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genuine about what after the show, like being like, oh, you know, you guys were great or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can tell like when people just say that just to be nice or when it's very like.
And to pick out our influences. Like right off the bat, I got oh, there's some Cure, there's some Joy Division, there's some Sonic Youth, there's some like Pacific Northwest in there. We're sort of all over the place.
All over,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of felt that way too. Your music is very unique to the music scene currently in Victoria. Like, how do you think that'll shape the community going forward with maybe more people that you'll be bringing in to a different kind of niche style of music maybe that's been underrepresented historically here?
Some great bands in the city that we're
Yeah.
lucky to have friendships with, which, you know, if we can be a part of that and shed light to what's happening in this place,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great.
I think Victoria has a long history of having these shows just being so isolated. You would have these shows where you would have No Means No playing with a Jerk Ward or the Neos, and like just like these very contrasting bands. I remember going to shows and seeing like Daddy's Hands playing with AK-47, playing with Pigment Vehicle, and they're completely contrasting bands. I'm excited that we're part of that community and we're pushing that agenda forward. We don't sound anything like the Tremblers of Sevens or the
Bad Who,
the Hex, Rival Gains or anything like that. But yet we can play a show with them, no problem, because the essence of that punk rock is still there. And isolationism.
Yeah.
Like we're isolated.
On an island.
We're on an island.
We're creative people, so
and you have to play with the bands that you're gonna play with. So, but that also doesn't dictate how we write our music. Like, we want to write our music how we want to write it, and we're not writing to be able to play with the hardcore people or whatever. We want
specific. Right?
Yeah, we want to be that. We want to be in that gray area.
What are you guys most looking forward to in the next year ahead?
Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recording more.
Some time off.
Some sleep.
No, yeah. I think tours and yeah. I want to, and maybe this is a little like maybe egotistical, but I think to be in a band you have to walk that egotistical line. But I want to show people the art that we're making, and I want to show as many people as possible the art that we're making, because I think it's worth having in people's ear holes.
Yeah, we've committed to it too.
Yeah.
So
Do you think with with what everybody's gone through in the last year with the pandemic, especially with people having more time to listen to more music and not see it, and maybe expand their palettes, do you think there's going to be a real opportunity for bands to reach a new audience that maybe didn't exist pre-pandemic, especially with an enthusiasm coming back for live music and experiencing amazing music live again?
I'd like to hope so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's. I think if any time a new style of music or something outside of the conventional was going to happen, it's going to happen right now, because people are so starved for music. So you have this unique opportunity to open people up from their norms, and sort of show them that there's other styles of music out there.
We've got a great college radio station, CFUV, too, to support that as well, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's got a good supporting community.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, Victoria and Vancouver and the West Coast. I mean, once again, it goes back to that isolationism. We're all, we're all in this, in this sort of little pocket, and we've all done our work of like creating the contacts. So I think it's
Incredible. Yeah. So we got a new EP on the way. Where are people going to be able to find it, and on what format?
Well, through Off White House Records and Bandcamp, but
yeah, we'll be moving out from there. So it's a tape digital release to start out with, and then as we finish off writing the next few songs, and we'll add those to the mix, and hopefully an LP. Later.
2022.
Yeah, probably next year.
one or two EPs.
Yeah.
And where can people maybe look to find you on the road in the next year or so?
France.
Yeah. No, I think we've got some feelers out there. There's some feelers to go out to do a small Midwest tour, depending on the state of the American-Canadian border. But mostly, I think it'll be cutting our teeth once again in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe out to Calgary a couple times. It's hard. It's hard booking shows right now because there's such a backlog of established bands that are all touring right now. So you want they're filling up the venues. So for a band that doesn't really have a lot out and is maybe ahead of where they would be as a new band, but still a new band. It's hard to book shows, but yes, it'll be local shows up and down the island, Vancouver, and then into Alberta when it's clear to do so.
Just want to play.
Yeah,
just want to play.
That's it.
Amazing. And for somebody who hasn't been fortunate enough yet to catch a Bonnuit show, how would you prepare them, or how would you describe it? What could they expect to see?
Sweat.
Bring earplugs.
Yeah. We're a loud band. We're for a 3-piece. We bring a lot of energy. For bands that or for people who enjoy bands like, we've mentioned Sonic Youth, Unwound, I guess Mets and Pop would be comparisons. Those high energy live shows, I think, is what you should expect with this. It's a very straightforward set where we come off as being very serious on stage.
I'm not allowed to make jokes, so...
Yeah. So we're a high energy band, with lots of
what we do, but
lots
we
of
take it
dynamics.
seriously,
It's just having fun.
Well, I am very excited to catch another show, hopefully many more to come, and it's been a pleasure to talk with the guys more and share some of excitement I have for this band with you guys out there watching this as well. So thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Dan Reid, and pleasure spending time with Bonnuit, and do not miss their live show. I can say for a fact you guys will be in for a treat.
Thanks
Thanks a lot for doing this. Yeah.